back. This is BoomerLife on CL 650.
This is BoomerLife on CL 650. I'm Joanne Sutton, and we are talking about the Alzheimer's Society of BC. Everything you need to know about who they are, what they do, and how Alzheimer's disease has touched so many of us. Now, we've got the pleasure of meeting Sunny Lenarduzzi right now. Sunny is no stranger to the media. She's no stranger to the Alzheimer's Society either. She's worked in radio and TV. She's connected through social media as a Hootsuite and a Huffington Post reporter, and we're about to find out why all of this matters. And she's being beamed in by satellite today. Sunny, are you there?
I sure am. Nice to be here. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks. And we're also joined in studio by the CEO of the Alzheimer's Society of BC, Maria Howard. Now, Sunny, can you first tell us a little bit about your connection with dementia and Alzheimer's and why you're so passionate about it?
Yeah, absolutely. Our family has experienced dementia and Alzheimer's with both of my grandparents, my noni, my mom, my dad's mom, and then my papa, which is my mom's dad. And my papa was diagnosed when I was about 16 years old and really had no idea, hadn't even really heard of Alzheimer's before or dementia before. And it was a really painful process to go through and to watch my papa go through. He was probably the strongest man I've ever known, went through a lot in his life, and the disease really took away his mobility, completely took away his memory very quickly, and it was just a really slow and painful thing to go through as a family. And then shortly after he passed away in 2011, my noni was diagnosed with dementia as well, and same thing, just really awful to see her go through it because she was extremely independent. She stayed in the same home that they moved to Canada and bought when my dad was just a kid, and cooked and cleaned and did all of those things to maintain her independence right until the bitter end, right until she was diagnosed with dementia. And the disease unfortunately took her quite quickly, and we lost her on May 10th last year.
It is a difficult process. I'm sorry to hear all of that, but obviously an educational experience as well, Sunny. And can you just tell us a little bit about how you built a relationship with the Alzheimer's Society of BC?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've had the pleasure of speaking to a few people at the Alzheimer's Society of BC, and they actually reached out to me last year regarding working with them. And I knew that the Scotia half marathon and 5K was coming up, and we figured that would be a great way to work together. And my family got involved and created a team, and we did it last year. We raised $5,000, and it was a really fun and rewarding experience because I feel like we got the message out there about what the reality of Alzheimer's and dementia is and how it affects families. And people of any age really need to be educated on it because it can hit at any time, and it's something that if you don't have the education to back it up, it can be very devastating.
Did you find it difficult to do the fundraising at all?
No, I mean, I think there's a little bit of difficulty in maybe the humility aspect of having to ask people to raise money, but I've found that because we shared our story, people definitely connected with it. And what I also found is using social media, which is something that I do for my day job, but I also have a pretty extensive network on social media. Sharing my story that way really resonated with people who I've never actually met in real life before, and the generosity of strangers is just really incredible to me. So it was not difficult. It was very rewarding, and it was a lot of fun to go through the process.
So why do you think it's so important to share that story and to spread the message of Alzheimer's?
Because I think a lot of people are dealing with this disease and don't talk about it. I think that there are other diseases out there there's a lot of information out there about them, and people are quite well educated, whereas Alzheimer's, I think, has sort of started to come to the forefront in the last couple of years. But like I said, when my papa was diagnosed, I had no idea what it was. I really didn't know what it meant. And I think there's a lot of stigma around it as far as it just meaning you're going to lose your memory, and that's that. But there's so much more that goes into it, and the toll that it takes on a family and your support system and having to really come together as a family unit. I think all of that is important, and I think that people struggle with it, and it's nice to know that you're not alone and that there's other people dealing with it as well.
So you ran last year for the first time, and I understand you're signed up again this year?
I am. Yes, the whole family has signed up again this year, and I can't say that I ran. I actually kind of got lazy, and I ended up walking with my with my family. But that's a great way to do it too. I mean, it was a great morning for our family. We got to just do this 5K together, and we brought our dog. It's dog friendly. And it's just a beautiful route as well. So it's really fun for the whole family to get involved and do it and fundraise together. It's kind of a team effort.
Who's on your team?
My mom, my dad, my brother, and my brother's fiance.
And if somebody else wanted to participate in something like this for the first time, what advice would you give them?
I think a big part of it is sharing your story and making sure that people are aware of your experience with the disease, because I think that definitely personalizes it and allows people to relate to you in a more authentic way. And I think also using your networks, using social media, using your email contacts to get the message out there and ask for support. And one of the things that I've said to my family and friends when I ask for support is, it doesn't matter what you give. Every single penny counts. A dollar donation is better than nothing. So I think that's the way to approach it as well.
And Maria, doesn't the Alzheimer's Society have a bit of a program already? It's like any fundraising at any time, or you're open to any types of contributions, aren't you?
The Alzheimer's Society is really happy to support people who are interested in fundraising, whether it's to join the Scotia run, as Sunny is describing, and we have on our website a microsite people can go to participate that. But we also have our Anything for Alzheimer's, so if people have their own creative idea of how they would like to raise money for Alzheimer's, then yes, certainly come to our website. We'd be happy to support one to move that forward.
Oh, excellent. Okay, now, Sunny, since you're participating, not necessarily running in the event, it's all in memory of your grandfather and your noni. Do you have any favorite memories of them that you wanted to share with us, or why they give you such great inspiration?
Yeah, I think there's a lot, so I won't go on for 2 hours. But
we know you could.
I definitely could. I'd probably go a little longer. With my papa, I think, I mean, I touched on the fact that they both were extremely independent, and I lost my nono, so my noni's husband, when I was very young. So, and my mom's mom I never met. She'd passed away before I was born. So my noni and my papa were my pillars and my only grandparents, really. And to see them go through what they went through with the disease was really hard. But what I found made it a little bit easier was recalling the good times and trying to relive those with them. So my noni was an amazing cook. So as much as we could get over there before she was forced to stop cooking, we would just go and have family dinners and talk to her, and she could still recall the good old days of being in Italy, and that's what she loved to talk about. So those memories will always stay with me. And then for my papa, he always told me it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog, and that's something that stuck with me my entire life. He was an extremely tough guy, and I'd like to think that I'm a pretty tough cookie in business and in my life, and so that's something that I think I carry with me on a day-to-day basis and always makes me think of him.
Sunny Lenarduzzi, I can't thank you enough for sharing your stories today. Thanks for your input. I know we're going to hear more from you, but good luck in the Scotiabank event in June.
Thank you so much for having me.
And one quick thing, if somebody wanted to get a hold of you and maybe use you as a bit of a mentor, how do we contact you?
You can get in touch with me on Twitter at Sunny Lenarduzzi, Instagram, same thing, and Facebook. I have a page with my name as well, Sunny Lenarduzzi.
Excellent. Thank you for your story.
Thank you.
And Maria, any final words today? We've had a great conversation about all of the fun in fundraising, dispelling some of the myths and the stigmas associated with Alzheimer's disease. A great conversation with Jim Mann, who has been diagnosed with dementia, and our Dr. Nygaard. It's obviously all coming together to hopefully create a more dementia-friendly community.
Yes, Joanne, it's been a great show because with Jim, with Sunny, with Dr. Nygaard, they are all members of the community, and they're all wearing different hats. I mean, Jim lives with Alzheimer's, but he also is a volunteer, and Sunny the same thing. Her family's been impacted, but she's also been a volunteer. And Dr. Nygaard, through his research, through his practice as a physician, is reaching out, and it really talks about how we all come together to support those who are impacted by dementia and try to change the dementia journey. There's many great things happening, and I'd really like to say that when we meet again in June, there's some wonderful things that are happening at the government level, at the provincial level and federally. And I think it shows a real positive indication that those who are setting the policies in our province to support people in a healthcare perspective understand how much dementia impacts this province and are making commitments to make a difference for British Columbians. So I'd love to share that with you in a few weeks.
Oh, I can't wait to have that conversation. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
You are listening to Boomer Life on CL 650. It's our focus on the Alzheimer's Society of BC. Thanks to our guests today, and if you want more information, please visit their website, alzheimerbc.org. I'm Joanne Sutton on CL 650.